Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and I'll be going over Dialog Insight. So, who is Dialog Insight? So, a bit of history about us. We've actually been around for over 20 years now. We are an international business. We have four different offices uh, across the world, uh, but we do business here in North America all the way to Russia. What is Dialog Insight? Well, Dialog Insight offers tools and solutions to highly personalize and customize omni-channel communications in order to really bring a great customer experience to your contacts. So we do gather and clean data, but we also use all of it in order to deliver an unforgettable customer experience. So let's get started with the demo. So our tool and solutions do provide the marketing and communication teams the ability to quickly and easily create, test, and send personalized communications that will save you tons of time and tons of money, which you'll then be able to spend on more important aspects of your business. So I'll go over in our email tool, which is the most important one. Um, so as you'll be able to see, our message editor is a drag and drop editor, which is simple to use. But we made sure to to provide you with as much power as possible while being as simple as possible as well. So then you can always deliver the most pertinent communications to your customers. So as you can see here, it is a drag and drop platform. But we also made sure that all of this was 100% responsive. So you don't have to worry about how it's going to look on a mobile device versus a desktop because everything has already been done in order for you to not have to worry and then saves you time. So as you can see here, I have two different images and I can easily add two different display conditions to make sure that both of these images are shown to the right contact. So what do I mean by this? Well, I mean that this image on top is definitely a male image, and this one at the bottom is definitely a female image. So I want to be able to segment this, so make sure that whoever is a male will receive the right image, and whoever is a female will receive the right one. So I can easily add a display condition. So as you can see up here, I simply just created one within a few seconds and was able to say, well, for every contact that has the sex male, show him this image. And I did the same thing or approximately the same thing for the female where I said instead of just saying female, I said for whoever isn't a male. So this was super simple for me and I did it within a few seconds and you could also do it yourself, which would make your email already very much personalized to the feel of who the person is based on their demographics. One other thing that you can do is add some personalization. So add some context of who they are within the text itself. So as you can see here, I can definitely just add very simply the first name of the person within my email. So now my email is even more personalized by just adding the name of the person within it. So it becomes more targeted and it is more a one-on-one experience where the contact might actually have more interest in reading your emails. So that was very easy. And the one thing that is very good for this is that since it's saving you time just to do this, you can then spend more time on doing even more personalization. So what other personalization can you actually do? Well, you can actually add some dynamic contents. So up here, this is some display condition. It is kind of dynamic, but if you wanted to have 5 or 6 different content, it might become very cumbersome to actually add them every single time. So we actually expedited the process by creating an actual content block, which you could drag and drop within your email and easily add as many content as you wanted. And one thing that's very nice about this tool is that you can actually select which content actually comes first to make sure that the right and most pertinent information comes first. So always the contact would always see the first content first, and you want to catch their eye, so you want to have the most important information first. This is what give it, this is the how you do it by just simply drag and dropping. So very simply, you can choose the order and make sure that you specify the condition for each. Because sometimes you'll have more than one content that will, one or more contact that will receive one or more content. So you want to make sure which one is going to show up first. One thing that I won't go over too much, but it is operational links which you can create and add within your email, which are going to help you kind of create some engagement with your contacts within your email and also help you clean and gather more data. Again, the more data that you get, the more personalization that you'll be able to do. So, if you wanted to have um, information about your products or you had products that you wanted to add to your email, you can definitely easily add them to Dialog Insight via two different processes to make sure that we're flexible and that we kind of adapt to your own business processes. The first one would be to add the products directly in the database or add them in a relational table. So very simply, once they're in the database or in the relational table, all you have to do is really just drag and drop the actual product right into the email. And that way you can easily also delete them, but you can easily do it the same thing between the products in the database or the products in the relational table, which are exactly the same way. So very simply, you can add products like this and make sure that you always have the right uh, process in place to make sure that you always have the information at hand, easily usable. So once that's done, well, you might think, okay, well, what are relational tables used for as well? Well, relational tables are also used for so much more. You can actually use relational tables for storing any kind of data, not just products. You can add any kind of data that surrounds your contacts or anything around uh, purchases or anything really. It stores any kind of data and you can relate it to your contacts to then be used to do something such as product recommendation or abandoned carts via some queries and everything if you have an online store. So one other thing that you can do, and to kind of simplify yourself, is sometimes you want to show which one your newest product that you want to show. So at the right over here, we have the last three products, which translate into this little block over here, which is always going to show the latest three products. It could be two, it could be one, but it is really up to you. This one shows three, which you'll see in the testing that it shows the latest three products that were added to my relational table. And that really helps you kind of promote your newest items to everyone within your contact list that will receive your email. So one important thing about email is always the testing. I always mention to my clients is that you have to test multiple times to make sure that the email is going to be perfect and that before the deployment of your campaigns, to always look at the personalization. So we in Dialog Insight have created a tool that will 100% help you test all your email to the fullest. So you can easily just kind of look at what it will look like in Dialog Insight as a preview. But what you can also do is send yourself um, tests with personalization within them, or you can also do an inbox preview. So what is inbox preview? Well, an inbox preview will help you determine how every single email is going to look in every single inbox, whether it is a mobile phone, a desktop, whether it is Hot Outlook or Gmail. You'll be able to see what it's going to look like and determine whether or not your email actually looks good on each one of them. The other thing is a simulation. We can actually create simulation of emails. So we kind of simulate sending it to all your database or to an audience, and you can kind of see every single personalization that is going to happen, the variance of your email, and really determine, okay, is this the right email? Is this the right content that I want to put in there? And make sure that you are sending the right pertinent information to all your clients. So again, all of this is all built in. It's all available to all the clients of Dialog Insight, and it is there to very simplify your life, make sure that it is fast and convenient for you. So this is all there if for testing and is offered to all the clients. After testing, you're satisfied, you've done all the testing and you're okay with it, you want it to be sent. It is such an easy process. All you have to do is really choose your audience simply by clicking all your contacts or by choosing your audience, but then just choosing whether you want to have it sent today or at a later date, and then just clicking on the sending button, and then that is it. You're done. Your email will be sent over the next few minutes, and then that's it. You've done it. And very simply, that process can help you save so much time and create some very personalized content for your clients. So one thing to understand about Dialog Insight is that we don't just send emails. We're actually an omni-channel platform, so we do offer other services such as SMS, mobile push, and web push. And web push really has been a very, very exciting tool or a new product that is very, very easy to configure uh, and has seen some much, much, much higher results than email. So what do I mean by that is that some of my clients, myself, I've seen an increase of hundreds of thousands of contacts that were registered from this channel alone for over a period of just 3 or 4 months. It is quite interesting to see this new tool come into life, and we do offer it, and everything in Dialog Insight is pretty much the same, whether you build an email or SMS or a web push. So everything in Dialog Insight is very easy, and it does give you the possibility to create some other channels to contact your customers and reach them in ways that are pertinent. Another thing to understand is that we also have complementary um, um, modules and tools to assist with your processes. So whether it's landing page or forms or surveys, anything that can kind of up and bring more data or bring a more interesting um, customer experience is available, readily available for you in Dialog Insight. So you don't have to fetch any other information from anywhere else. It can all be stored right in Dialog Insight, and you don't have to worry about too much about anything else. So one other tool that is very, very performant in Dialog Insight is our brand new revisited marketing automation. So this tool can be very complex or very simple, but facilitates so much and helps you save so much time by just creating scenarios that you might be doing manually right now. So what do I mean by that is that you can create scenarios to send emails on birthdays. You can send for holiday cards or anything like that can really be configured in here. And this helps you become so much more efficient. And like I mentioned, it can be as complex as you'd like it to be. And as you can see right now, we do use multiple channels as well. So whether you're using emails in your marketing automation, SMS, web push, or even mobile push, everything in here can be used in the marketing automation to make it even personalized within the marketing automation tool. So as you can see, It is pretty complex over here, but everything from the triggers, the actions, display, conditions, or even the ends over here, everything is so easy to use because everything is just drag and drop into the interface, and then there it is. You can easily just move them, add them, link them to something else, and then it is so much easier than just trying to build your email and sending them every single time. So it does expedite so much of the process, and you can spend it on other things. So one other thing that I wanted to go over is that Dialog Insight, like I mentioned, gathers data, cleans data, and hosts data as well. So when we come to audiences, we don't actually just wait for you to provide us with a an email or an Excel file to in order to send that communication. We actually host the data ourselves, so then you can create audiences within Dialog Insight and simply and very simply reuse them every single time. So if I was to create my audience from Dialog Insight, so I have my whole entire database readily available in Dialog Insight, what we would do is target parts of that database directly from this tool and then send our communications. And one thing that's nice is that once it's set up, it always updates itself. It's automatically updating itself whether your database has a new contact or loses a contact. Your group is going to add a contact or remove a contact every single time. So you don't have to actually worry about creating your groups or your audience every single time, exporting your data file, re importing it before sending it, because everything is already automated, so it saves you again even more time. And this is nice because you can have any information in Dialog Insight that you gather, whether it's a click link, an email that was opened, whether it is their opt-ins, any information that you provide us, you can target, you can segment on that information, and you can create personas, you can create scoring. All this can also be used within Dialog Insight to personalize, segment your communication. So right here, I can select the personas that I want for my group over here, or I could also do geolocation and then select where I want to target. So if it was here in Toronto, then I could click on Toronto by dragging and dropping this little cursor directly on Toronto. So it is very simple to kind of segment my group. I could also do some scoring. So what is scoring? It is a score that you give your contacts, and then you can kind of segment on this. You can also segment on profile, but lastly, on relational table data. So if you have any relational tables with purchases, with any kind of events that a customer has assisted to, it is something that you can create segments based on that data. And Dialog Insight helps you do that with simple uh, tool that is drag and drop, which has multiple conditions, whether it's an end statement or statement, to kind of expand, make it bigger, or make it even a hyper personalized, hyper segmented group. So that is very nice. And one of the last things I want to show you is the profile of a contact. Most of the time, you want to troubleshoot what's going on. You want to understand who the contact is. It is very easy to understand who that person is directly from their actual profile. So in Dialog Insight, we always have a summary of who they are. And in here, you'll be able to see all their actions that they've done throughout their lifetime. When were they created? When were they opted in? When they received an email? Maybe the web pages that they actually visited. And all of this can actually be seen directly from here. The other thing that you can see is their actual profile, their actual data. So who they are. Are they a male, a female? Where are they from? You can really get to understand who they are, but also you can see, okay, well, here they're in my different personas, they have different opt-ins, so maybe I can work from this information to build on to it. One other thing that you can do is actually see all their messages that they've received, all the messages throughout their lifetime, whether they've clicked on them, whether they've opted in, opted out from them. All this information is really readily available to you to make it so much easier in terms of looking at your target and seeing who they are and what their processes are as well. Like I mentioned, you could have a behavioral tracking within your within from Dialog Insight via those interceptors, and then those interceptors could also track whether or not what they're doing on your website. Obviously, they would give you consent, and then you could actually track where what they're doing on on your website, so what they're looking at and such. And all this information that we gather can then be used to segment and personalize your communication. So you can see that it's always a circle of going to getting the data, making sure that you have as much information, and then reusing it to make sure that you personalize your communication to give them the most pertinent information. So most like other platforms, we do have also results to make sure that you can see KPIs that are going on to make sure that you're always providing uh, uh, good emails, making sure that you always have uh, that you're spending your money at the right places. So in our emails, you'll always have some results. It is pretty average to everyone in the industry. So everything in here is actually extractable. So you can extract it, do your analysis, do your KPIs, make sure that everything is up to date, make sure that everything is okay. But like I mentioned, everything in here is actually extractable for analysis. We make sure that everything in here it has all the information that you need to make sure that you can deliver a high performance uh, email deployment at every single time. One thing that's very nice about this is that you actually can compare to the market or your sector that you're within, and so that you kind of make sure that you're always either above or always looking to be above. One thing I do mention to our clients is that you should always you shouldn't look at the to compare to your sector. You should always compare yourself to your own business and always try to surpass yourself. So that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you everyone for listening. And if you have any questions or you need any information, please contact us. We'll be happy to answer you. And have a great day.